where we will continue to bring some of the most relevant and pressing financial topics.
Welcome to Titan Talks.
Welcome to Titan Talks. My name is Achula Mbegeni with Titan Investors. Today, we are going to be talking to Chris Mansky, the president at Mansky Wealth Management with the AUM of 395 million. Today's topic is investing through a downturn. Chris, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today. Now, you often speak at industry conferences. What in the market concerns industry insiders right now?
Right. Last week, I was in Dallas for a full day industry conference, and I was the moderator for an afternoon discussion. The ballroom was filled with RIA principals and individual financial advisors, not just in my session, but all day long. The questions that kept coming up had to do with the challenges associated with fixed income markets right now. Most investment professionals look at stocks and bonds as the two major offsetting components of a diversified portfolio. If stocks are going down, bonds are probably going up, and vice versa. Unfortunately, the last couple of years, the two markets have been highly correlated. So stocks have gone down recently, and so have bonds. As the Fed raises interest rates to fight inflation, the bond markets have been punished. This pressures advisors to try to find some answer to the question, where can I go for good bonds? It's tough.
So, Chris, then what do you think is the way to go these days when navigating through, fixed income markets?
Well, my team and I really like what we call fallen angel debt. If you look at the biggest companies in the world with excellent credit ratings, there's going to be some subset of that list who they get their credit rating downgraded for acceptable reasons. For example, leadership is doing a merger or an acquisition. As part of that process, their credit rating drops out of the A's range and into the high B's range. Or another example would be maybe the company took on some debt for a specific and temporary reason, which forces a change in their credit rating. With this new lower rating, the leadership of that company feels pressure to get the credit rating back to normal because their cost of borrowing has increased, and there's many challenges a lower credit rating creates. Those fallen angel situations are great bonds to look at, and those scenarios are excellent opportunities to let financial professionals stay true to our fixed income allocations.
And what about you, Chris? Are there any investments that you are particularly excited about right now?
Yes, I'll transition to the stock market here. So 3 companies we're very excited about right now are International Paper, symbol IP, Walgreens, symbol WBA, and Verizon Communications, symbol VZ. These companies are leaders in their respective fields. Everybody listening to the show has heard of them, and their stock prices have fallen a lot more than the overall market. For example, IP is down almost 40% from its recent highs. All 3 of these companies pay a dividend yielding over 5%, and both Walgreens and Verizon have plans to raise that dividend. Their debt is low, their leadership is experienced. These are good companies at very attractive prices. We're excited about them.
Oh, that's great. Now, you are an author and you wrote about investing through crisis. How does your advice differ from how most wealth managers, approach this?
Yes, the book is called The Prepared Investor. And I think that everyone listening to this show, they're going to recognize the story that is usually told about investing through crisis. We've all heard it, just stay the course. Get a diversified portfolio and hold on to it because someday, maybe years in the future after the crisis has subsided, the markets will come back. This waited out mentality implies that there's no way at all to prepare. It suggests that in the face of crisis, investors are completely out of control, and Wall Street's best advice is to just put your head in the sand and wait it out. People, they read the book, The Prepared Investor, because they're looking for a better, more complete answer to that question of how to prepare for crisis, how to be ready for the next major downturn. We all know that major catastrophes come and go, and we don't have to be afraid of that fact. It just makes sense to properly prepare. And my book, The Prepared Investor, offers guidance that it offers guidance that allows financial advisors and investors themselves to protect and even grow their net worth in the face of crisis.
Right, and I think it's so relevant right now, and we're gonna hop right into, what's next for you. Can you tell us about your next book?
Oh, I would love to. In my next book called The Magicians of Money, I explain how the IRS and Wall Street systemically misdirect and even manipulate the American investor. I pull back the curtain on 6 specific, incredibly prevalent illusions that Wall Street and the IRS perform every day. And I demonstrate how these institutions benefit from these pervasive deceptions. Readers will see how the 2 biggest financial institutions in our country actually encourage the public to consume instead of to save. And I make clear how they're constantly persuading investors to do unnecessary transactions in their portfolios. I think investors will recognize every scenario in the book because they're all so commonplace. And it's really shocking how often the IRS and Wall Street use this purposeful misdirection. After reading The Magicians of Money, whether you're a beginning investor or a financial professional, you'll know how the tricks are performed and you'll have better control of your money and your financial future.
Well, Chris, thank you so much. We most certainly cannot wait to indulge in your next book. It is definitely relevant, especially in these times. And I do want to take the time to, again, thank you for taking the time to sit with us today. And I think we'll conclude our talk today. Is there anything else that you'd like to close up with? Any advice that you'd like to give out there for, any last words?
Sure. As a last word, I just want to appreciate you and Titan investors. I just really am grateful for this chance to, share a few thoughts.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And that's it from us at Titan Talk. Have a great day.
You too.
Thank you, Chris.